Hey guys, just wanted to make a brief video here covering some of the slides that we had or we covered on the First Impressions team meeting this past Sunday. First of all, I just wanted to re-hit again that our vision is to make outsiders feel like insiders. And we talked a little bit about how important it was that we all have these first impressions, whether good or bad. And different people shared some things that they were really good at a restaurant or at a hotel, church, and some people shared some things that are really bad. And a lot of times we like to share our experiences. If we have a great experience somewhere, we're gonna talk about that. If we have a terrible experience, we're gonna share about that. And not only are we gonna share about it, but we're gonna tell others you should not go there, or yeah, just don't go because I had a bad experience. So it's really important for us to have that experience. So we talked about why first impressions. You were created with gifts and talents. Each of us that serve, whether we're on the first impressions team, we serve with kids, whether whatever we do in the church, outside the church, we have gifts and talents that God has given us, and it's important for us to use those for His glory. It's a biblical mandate. We see all over Scripture. It's important for us to be treating people with love, to be treating outsiders well, to be sharing God's love that He has given us to others. We have had 34 individuals or families come to Good News in 2024. That's the wrong date, 2024. So each week we have new people in our building, in our midst. It's important that we have a great first impression for them. It's backed by research. Research shows that within the first few minutes, at least, some people say up to even down to like 10 seconds, people are deciding whether or not they're going to come back to a church, which is not necessarily fair, but it's reality, it's truth. And so for us, it's important. We want the first experience they have to be a smiling face, someone who says welcome, a loving interaction. Our own experiences, as I said, whether good or bad, we all make first impressions wherever we go, and that includes church. And then ultimately, I think the most important reason why we do this is because it reveals the gospel. If it's true that we were sinners, we were good as dead, we were outsiders. When Jesus died for us, he showed His love for us while we were still sinners. He died for us, and if that is true, then we should be loving those who are outsiders right now as well. And then the hope is that God will reveal himself to them, and they will also become insiders. We can't do that, but yet we can extend God's love that He has for us to others. So that's why we do first impressions. It's very, very important. We also practiced just talking with people who are new. So we broke into groups. I encourage you to use this in the attached handout. This is there as well. The recognition is that there's some people that are more open. When they come, they want to connect, they want to ask questions, they want to get involved. And then on the flip side, there's also people that come that are not wanting to get involved. They don't kind of want to fly solo. They don't want to be known. That might be you if you're not outgoing. So we don't want to force people to have conversations. And generally, you can tell right away whether people want to talk or they don't want to talk, whether they ask questions, whether they engage. And so we practice this, and I strongly encourage you to take a look at this. You recognize the first couple questions are the same, but from there, based on how they interact with you, based on how they respond to you, you're going to see how that conversation should go. The hope is that we can connect people to the next step that they are ready for at that time. So I encourage you to try this out with others on a Sunday morning. Of course, I realize that not everyone is going to be as open to talking and connecting with the first time guest, but it's important for us to have the skill and just be obedient to God when He asks us to do it. We also talked about teams, the parking lot team, front door team, worship center team, and the coffee team. These are the different areas that you can serve. Entrance, there's floaters in the parking lot. There's front door people. There's floaters in the lobby and connection hub. Worship center team. There's the entrances. People who hand out handouts. There's floaters in the worship center, and there's also the coffee team. So later on, we're part of this, and we're going to encourage you to mark where you want to serve. So these are the different teams, and we also talked about best practices here. So you can read through these 30 to 35 minutes early. We do a huddle, meet down by the tall tables. It's important for us to come ready to serve, put our full attention on guests, which means that we keep our hands free. Whether it's coffee or phone, it's best to just while the time you serve, the 20 minutes that you serve, it's best to keep your hands free because it communicates to others, I'm here for you. Of course, you can hold a sign if you want to. Those are in the First Impressions team locker. Don't allow yourself to be stuck in a holy huddle at the expense of guests. That doesn't mean you can't talk to others, but the encouragement is don't talk to others that you know that are on the team, that are your friends. while others walk by that are people that need to be connected with. So oftentimes what I do if I'm talking to someone, I'll keep my head on a swivel and say, hey, good morning to someone who is walking by. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to serve. It's uncomfortable to talk with others. It's uncomfortable to do what we do. And so the encouragement for you, best practice for you, is to be comfortable doing that. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations and just own that. Just be willing to do that. If people ask where things are, walk with them to find it. The one exception being the bathroom. You don't have to walk with them to the door of the bathroom. But if someone asks where kids go, or someone asks where the nursery is, if someone asks where the coffee is, the encouragement is you can walk with them. Now, it's important for you to know who your floater is or a staff member is. If someone says, hey, I really would love to know where the fifth graders go. If you're in a place like the front door or handouts where you can't really leave, or maybe you don't even know where these things are, make sure to alert a staff member, alert a floater, and they can pass off. You can pass off to them. A couple more: create wow moments. Think about what would be beneficial or helpful for you and do it. I give you full, you don't have to, assume, oh, would Tyler allow me to do this? Like if you find it beneficial and you find it helpful, just go ahead and do it. Put your stuff down before you start serving so you have a spot. The encouragement is that you would stay in your spot 5 minutes or until you don't see any more people coming in. So at least a few minutes after the service starts, so you can welcome those who are coming in late. And then you already have a spot saved. So please go ahead and do that. And then come back after the service afterwards to say goodbye and say, I'd love to see you next week, that kind of thing, out by the front doors. And then contact information is vitally important. So connect people to the Connection Hub, whether you are bringing them yourself or giving them to a floater or a staff member. The encouragement is we can bring them to the Connection Hub, and then that person can invite them to share their contact information if they are willing to do so. Those are some of the best practices. If you have questions about those, please let me know. We also covered this point here. This is something that Kim even came up with, and we kind of worked through together. This kind of helps encapsulate what it is that we do: pray, observe, initiate, next step, and thankfulness. So we should be coming with hearts of prayer. We should be asking God to reveal to us who these people are that need to be loved. And even asking God to give us more guests that we can connect, giving us the ability and the wisdom to connect them. Observe, that's the idea of keeping your head on a swivel. Always be looking for new guests, always be looking for things that you can help with. We, of course, are the team that needs to initiate. Oftentimes, they're not going to come to us. We are supposed to go to them, help them find their next step. That might be as simple as getting a cup of coffee and sitting in the service. That might be as complex as they want to join a small group and they want to meet the pastor, whatever else it may be. Help them find their next step for that day. And that's where it's important for you to be aware of how they're responding. And then, of course, thankfulness. Every guest is a gift that God has given us. He's given us the ability to serve. He's given us the ability to help people, usher people into hopefully a relationship with Jesus. And that is a massive, massive thing. So it's very important for us not to realize or not to recognize as what we do as just minimal, but that God wants to use us in amazing and powerful ways. So point, pray, observe, initiate, next step, and thankfulness. We then broke out into breakouts. So if you have specific questions about any of the Connection Hub, floater stuff, coffee stuff, front door, entrances, handout, please talk to me. I'd love to give you some of the best practices that we talked about with that. We talked about the welcome party. We do this about 6 times a year. It's right after the second service. It's kind of our top of our funnel. If the people are new, this is their first connection point. And from there, we talk about rooted, we talk about serving, we talk about giving. So I like to invite people to come to it. So you can invite people to come to it. But also, if you're willing to come and connect with guests, this is a great way for you to meet others and to serve beyond being on the First Impressions team as well. Scheduling, typically, if you've been on the team at all for any length of time, you know that I send you invites. So you can, if you can serve, then accept it. If you can't serve, you can decline it. Also, something that usually is an option that a lot of us haven't tried out yet because we probably don't know what it is asking for a replacement. So if you're a front door person and I schedule you for front door, but you can't serve that week, you can ask for a replacement. And then everyone who is a front door person at that service will get an email and they can accept or decline it as well. That's something that might actually be really helpful for me. So I don't have to try to find a replacement if you can try to find a replacement. Also, it asks for a reason for declining. I don't necessarily, I do care where you are, but I don't necessarily, I'm not trying to check in on you. That's actually something that cannot be removed. So when asked for a reason to decline, you can say none if you want. I don't actually need if you want to share with me the reason why you're gone, that's fine. But I just want you guys to know that that's not my doing. I don't try to check up on you in that way. Here's the First Impressions leadership team: Debbie, Mac, Steve, Amy, and Kim. You can talk with any of us if you have questions, comments, concerns, or desire to have an idea that we can go forward with in the future. And then my one person. So the question, you can read this if you would like, but really the question is, who is my person? Who's my person today? As you come to church, as you get ready to serve, ask God, who is my one person today? You don't have to connect with everyone that comes, but each and every Sunday, if we come with the heart that we have one person, that maybe God has one person for us to serve that day, to show extra love with, maybe even to pray for, I think that makes a huge difference. So keep that in mind as we serve. And I just want to say thanks for watching this video. Thanks for serving on the team. And then also, please make sure to fill out the profile. That should be a form that you can fill out to let me know how often you want to serve, where you want to serve, all of those things. And if you ever have comments, questions, or concerns, please let me know. I would love to keep thinking of people to invite to be part of the team to help to serve. But thank you again for watching this. Please let me know if you have any other comments or concerns. I would love to help you out on that.